Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. I have a question for you. There's a lot of talk about Devin Haney, about Lomachenko. And I find some of it interesting. Not people doing tail of the tapes on Devin Haney, on Lomachenko. Everyone's going to have an opinion on who they think is the best. But when I sit here and really think about the position that Haney's in, the position that Lomachenko's in, makes me wonder who had it toughest to get into the position they're in, with Lomachenko finally getting his opportunity to challenge for the undisputed distinction, and then for Devin Haney to have gone over to Saudi Arabia, gone over to Australia, and for him to have challenged Kambosos to win the belts and then rematch and defend the undisputed distinction. And my thing is, does Haney need to thank Vladimir Putin? Like, that's really a serious question, because without that war between Russia and Ukraine, Devin Haney wouldn't have got that opportunity to fight Kambosos. And that's not something I'm making up. That's a fact. Okay? Lomachenko, for those of you who didn't know, the Russians had invaded Ukraine, and he put service before self. And he went to Ukraine to defend his country. And in Kambosos, that's who he wanted to fight, was Lomachenko. But then it just wasn't an option for him. So then he ended up, long story short, coming up to Devin Haney. And I'm going to tell you, if it wasn't for Lomachenko deciding to go home and defend his country, I'm not sure what direction Devin Haney's career would have gone. Okay, so when you look at Devin Haney and his resume, right, before Kambosos, okay, before Kambosos, you take a look at Devin Haney's resume. He got Linares on there. He got Jojo Diaz on there. He's got a Gamboa. Doesn't matter if he's prime Gamboa, deflated Gamboa. He's got Gamboa on there. But when you look at the 135-pound landscape, Jojo Diaz touched up Haney a little bit, hurt him at times in that fight. Linares was giving Haney the business, hurt him very bad in one round, but Haney dominated. For me, I wonder, right, if Devin Haney wouldn't have had the opportunity to fight Kambosos, would Devin Haney have gone into a fight with a Tank Davis, a Ryan Garcia, a Jermaine Ortiz? And I'm going to tell you right now, for those of you who don't know who this guy Jermaine Ortiz is, he's the one who Lomachenko fought when he decided to return to boxing after he had finished, defending his country. And when he came back, let me tell you, they threw him in with that 16-0 Jermaine Ortiz. And he was in tough. He was 16-0. 8 of those wins were by knockout. Lomachenko gave him his first loss. And it went to unanimous decision for Lomachenko. But let me tell you something. For Lomachenko to come back and fight a guy like Ortiz, let me tell you, that speaks volume for Lomachenko. Ortiz is a killer. And I feel if Devin Haney would have had to fight Jermaine Ortiz, I think Ortiz would beat Haney. I'm just being honest with you. Because when I really look at it, right, styles make fights. And Kambosos, he just wasn't prepared for the Haney jab. He wasn't prepared for anything. But Kambosos isn't a huge 135 pounder. But with the guy with such an aggressive style, ability to counterpunch, punch and hurt you, like Jermaine Ortiz, I think Devin, right before that first Kambosos fight, he was coming off of Jojo Diaz, right? If Devin would have had to go that route, I'm not so sure Devin could have gotten through that. And the thing is, everyone's gonna have an opinion, but that's what makes it so interesting. Is because I think the guys that Devin Haney has defeated, I think they're solid opposition, right? And he does have all the titles. I mean, that matters. But when we peel the layers back and look at the opponents he's clipped, you know, he hasn't clipped the likes of a Pitbull Cruz, the likes of let me see something real quick. Garcia Cruz, a Martin, a Zepeda. You know, we need to see Devin Haney. If he gets past Lomachenko's the real big name that Devin Haney's fought. I don't want to hear anyone talking about Lomachenko's old, he's washed up. Because Lomachenko got through Jermaine Ortiz. And let me tell you, it was not easy for Lomachenko to get through that fight and get the win. Lomachenko was struggling in the beginning, but he started putting it together. He had to fight. And with Devin Haney facing Lomachenko, and just for me knowing what Lomachenko went through in that Ortiz fight and what Lomachenko was able to do, especially as the rounds were progressing, tells you a lot about Lomachenko. The man has a lot of tools in his bag, and so does Devin Haney. But this right here is going to really, in my opinion, it should elevate Devin Haney. Because I know he can fight. I know he's special. But when I look at the opponents that he's fought, I'm like, hold on. Lomachenko is the first the first real solid opponent that's not on towards the end of his career, like some people say Linares was. But Jojo Diaz, you know, I'm not, he's all right, but Jojo Diaz just lost. It shows you Jojo Diaz, he's not always mentally checked in. But when you talk about a guy like Lomachenko, the amateur pedigree, the 2 gold medals, he's been fighting as a pro for a while, his style, you know, I think this is it for Devin Haney. Now, I'm telling you right now, if he beats Lomachenko, all of this confidence that Devin Haney has, all of this bragging and I'm the man, I think he deserves to do it. I think he deserves to do it right now. You should feel good about yourself, but I think there's nothing that no one should still be out here saying, Devin Haney's good, but nah. If he beats Lomachenko, and it's not an old Lomachenko. This is a Lomachenko that beat Jermaine Ortiz. Because I think Ortiz beats Haney. But that's just my opinion. But if Haney can get through Lomachenko, you're going to see a whole lot about Devin Haney. And then the next thing for Devin Haney, he's got to keep moving up the ladder and not reverse. And when I say that, I mean fighting stiff competition. But you may not see Haney and Stevenson. You may not see Haney and Davis. Okay? For a couple of reasons. One, Haney's talking about going to 140. They said, Bob Arum even said, Haney's not hanging around at 135 much longer. It's killing Haney to melt down to 135. Like, it's really messing that man's body up. He can't keep doing it. Kind of like with Teofimo. It was hurting himself. Like, really causing serious damage to him physically. Issues with the liver and stuff like that. You know, you just can't traumatize your body like that over and over and over. I wouldn't be surprised if Devin Haney ended up with an episode of rhabdo, like what Virgil Ortiz is going through. But that being said, so that's the first issue. Haney fighting Tank and Stevenson and Frank Martin. It's not going to happen because Haney's going to bubble up to 140. So that's the first problem. Second problem is a fight like Tank, right? Leonard Ellerby already said for Shakur Stevenson for Devin Haney. Everyone has to get in the back of the line if they want to fight Tank. So what does that tell you? That they're not looking to make those fights anytime soon. They're looking to take Tank and just keep putting him up against whoever Tank wants to fight or they want him to fight. And that doesn't necessarily include, in the immediate future, Devin Haney or Shakur Stevenson. So, all in all, when I take a look at the position Devin Haney's in right now, the question to me is, how long can he hold on to those belts and continue fighting? Because he's at a point now, 135, he can only fight elite. He got so many damn mandatories now, it's crazy. Lomachenko, Lemos, Ryan Garcia. Then you got Shakur Stevenson right underneath that. Then you got damn Isaac Pitbull Cruz, Frank Martin. I did a video on this the other day. Devin Haney is in a position right now to where now he has to fight killers. Now, if he can clip Lomachenko and go on and clip a Frank Martin and go on and clip Pitbull Cruz, I'm telling you, Devin Haney, he may have the right to actually argue of being pound for pound number one. And if he can get past Tank, oh man, Devin Haney's out of here. Lomachenko, Stevenson, Frank Martin, and Tank. If Haney can beat those four, he's out of here. He's out of here. And that's what he needs on his resume. Names like that now. Now, don't get me wrong. He's good. He's very good. He's a special fighter. I remember watching him when he first came over to the zone. I said this in another video. He looked like Floyd Mayweather. I mean, couldn't believe what I was watching. But, you know, the opponent has a lot to do with it. Once you start fighting more seasoned and experienced opponents, it's not that easy to get a knockout. It's not that easy to make them look incompetent, inadequate, because they train just as hard and they're doing the same things you're doing in training camp. So when you get in the ring with them, it's almost like fighting yourself. You know what I'm saying? And Devin Haney realizes that. But I'm just telling you, going forward with Lomachenko still has a lot of gas left in the tank. And I think this is a very competitive, high-risk fight for both of them. But we're going to see if just having the will to win is going to be enough for Devin Haney, or for Lomachenko is having the will to win, recognizing that you missed out on your opportunity, right, for your dream to become an undisputed champion. And also, with all the ups and downs the country has faced, is that going to be enough to push Lomachenko across the finish line to win that fight by all means necessary? Okay? Because I tell you what, Devin Haney is the dream, but Lomachenko, the question is, can his dream survive? And that's really what we're looking at. I'm really looking forward to this fight. I really am. And to see Lomachenko coming from the battlefield back to the ring, to see Devin Haney kind of end up in a position that I think he would have at some point, gotten to. But see, just the way that the cards kind of landed, Devin Haney got himself at a shot against Camboso, something he probably wouldn't have received. And they did him dirty. So I want to make sure I foot stomp that. It's not like Devin Haney got the opportunity, and it was, and he was treated like a challenger. No, they treated him basically like a clown, and they did everything. They basically no Vaselined him in the deal he took. And maybe they thought he wouldn't have took it, but they stacked the cards against him, and Devin Haney showed that there's a lot more to him than what we think as far as his level of maturity at his young age. I think Devin Haney's 25. So that being said, Devin Haney proved a lot of things to me. But the opposition, again, good opposition, not elite. Lomachenko to me is elite. Frank Martin, elite. Pitbull Cruz, elite. Shakur Stevenson, elite. Ryan Garcia, elite. Zepeda, elite. He doesn't have those names on his records. But after this fight with Lomachenko, he'll have one. Then it's just a matter of what he decides to do. But word on the street, he's not going to hang around long enough. So we'll see what happens. That being said, Devin Haney, does he need to thank Putin for what he did? I think he does. Because if it wasn't for this guy Putin to do the crap that he did, Devin Haney would have never got it. He would have never had that opportunity. Not that immediate opportunity. Lomachenko would have went and fought Kambosos. And I'm going to tell you, man, the vast preponderance of people feel Lomachenko would have beat Kambosos, right? So that's not a surprise that people are saying, you know what, Lomachenko and Devin is a more competitive fight than anything else, because this is really the true test. Some people think Devin Haney has gotten this false sense of supremacy by thinking he beat the top guy in the division because he went twice to Australia and beat an average Kambosos. And I don't quite see it that way. But all I will say is, in my opinion, Kambosos was better than average, but Devin Haney is just a special fighter. Long arms, he knows what to do. He's very deliberate with everything he does. I just think Lomachenko is elite. I don't think Kambosos was elite. And I think when Devin Haney gets in that ring with with Lomachenko and Haney both are going to realize, okay, this is a special fighter in front of me. And they're going to have to figure it out. But that being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. Devin Haney. Sometimes the sun shines in a dog's butt, doesn't it? And he took that opportunity and he ran with it. And let's see if he can keep running with it. And I'm looking forward to the fight. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.